The Nintendo Wii sold over 100 million units worldwide. Its successor, the Wii U, just 13.5 million, a drop of almost 87%. Obviously, that's less of a slight decline and more of a complete failure. Here's the thing though, it wasn't about the games or the hardware. You see, the real story behind Nintendo's biggest disaster is way more fascinating and honestly, way more preventable. We're talking about a series of decisions so fundamentally flawed that they turned what should have been a slam dunk into one of gaming's most spectacular disasters. Let's start with the most obvious problem, the name, Wii U. Seriously, I don't know what they were thinking. The original Wii had games and accessories like the Wii Fit, Wii Music, Wii Sports. So when parents heard Wii U, they naturally assumed it was just another add-on, an accessory, not a brand new, totally separate $300 console. But the name was just the beginning of Nintendo's messaging nightmare. There was also that E3 2011 reveal. The entire presentation focused on this chunky tablet controller, barely mentioning that there was actually a new console powering it. For most of that reveal, you couldn't even see the actual Wii U system, just this gamepad being passed around like it was the whole product. And the marketing that followed was somehow even worse. Those commercials were painful to watch. They show families playing games, but they also never made it clear that there was an entirely new system for sale. One former toy store employee described the chaos perfectly. Parents would come in trying to buy just the gamepad controller, thinking it would work with their existing Wii. When they found out they needed a whole new console, they would just walk away. And this confusion created a brutal cycle. Poor sales meant less shelf space, which meant even less visibility, which meant even more confusion about what the Wii U actually was. And here's where it gets really frustrating though. The games were genuinely excellent. Mario Kart 8 is still one of the best racing games ever made. Splatoon created an entirely new franchise that's now worth billions. Super Smash Bros. For Wii U delivered everything fans wanted. But these amazing games were trapped on a console that most people didn't even know existed. Nintendo also made a weird strategic mistake by essentially competing against themselves. Look at the game libraries. Almost every major Wii U title had a similar version on the 3DS. If you want to play Smash Bros, you can get it on a 3DS for way less money. Same with Mario Kart, Donkey Kong, and even Zelda remakes. Why spend $360 on a Wii U and a game when you can get a similar or close experience on the 3DS for $120, 1/3 of the price? The gamepad itself promised revolutionary second screen gaming, but the reality was pretty disappointing. The streaming only worked within about 30 feet of the console, and the battery died constantly, and most games barely used the touchscreen in meaningful ways in the first place. Nintendo Land showed glimpses of what was possible, but it was too complicated to explain quickly, unlike something like Wii Sports, which people understood instantly. And even when Nintendo tried to fix things with price cuts and better marketing, it was too late. The damage was done, and the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One were already dominating the conversation. The Wii U became Nintendo's cautionary tale about how brilliant hardware and software mean nothing if people don't understand what you're selling. But here's where Nintendo's story gets really interesting, because we can easily see how they learned from every single one of these mistakes. The Switch launch in 2017 was like watching a masterclass in how to correctly do everything that the Wii U got wrong. First, the name, Nintendo Switch. Clean, simple, and it actually tells you what the product does. No confusion about whether it's an accessory or a new console. The marketing was crystal clear from day one. This is a home console that you can take anywhere. That's it. No convoluted explanations needed. And remember how I said the Wii U's E3 reveal barely showed the actual console? The Switch reveal trailer was the complete opposite. It opened with someone playing Zelda on their TV, then literally picking up the console and walking out the door. Within 30 seconds, you understood exactly what made the system unique and exciting. There were no mixed messages, just a simple, powerful concept demonstrated perfectly. Nintendo also solved their software problem by launching with an absolute killer app, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. This was a revolutionary experience that redefined what Zelda could be, and one of the best video games ever released on any platform. More importantly, it was exclusive to the Switch at launch, giving people a reason to buy the Switch instead of just sticking with their existing Wii U. And the timing of these two launches was also essential. And we've got to talk about what made these two so different. But before we do, let me thank the sponsor of this video, EMeet. This is the EMeet Piko Plus, the first dual lens 4K webcam. And the idea is simple. One lens captures sharp 4K video, and the second lens uses AI to detect your head and shoulders, keeping your face clear even with strong backlighting. You've got 4K at 30 frames per second for details, talking headshots, or you can drop that to 1080p at 60 frames per second for smoother motion. And thanks to the larger sensor, low light actually looks impressive. The audio is clever too. You get 3 modes. There's streaming, which cleans up your live audio, noise canceling, which quiets background hums during meetings, and original, which leaves the audio untouched for editing later. The EMeet Studio app keeps things simple too. Quick framing presets, horizontal or vertical setups, and easy exposure adjustments. And when it comes to the brand, EMeet's market share is second only to Logitech. In Amazon's best-selling webcam rankings, several of EMeet's products have made it into the top 10. If you want to pick one up for yourself, I'll have a link down in the description below. And once again, big thank you to EMeet for sponsoring this video. The timing was crucial too. While the Wii U launched right before more powerful consoles made it look outdated, the Switch launched with a unique value proposition that Sony and Microsoft just could not match. Sure, the PS4 and Xbox One were more powerful, but could you play them on the train while commuting or on a plane while traveling? The hybrid concept was one of those holy grail moments for gamers, and it was Nintendo that made it a reality. Nintendo also completely rebuilt their third-party relationships. The Wii U's weak hardware and Nintendo's historically closed-off approach had driven away developers. But with the Switch, Nintendo made a conscious effort to court indie developers and major publishers alike. They made development easier, they were more flexible with their policies, and most importantly, they had a console that was actually selling. The success created this virtuous cycle. Good sales attracted more developers, which meant more games, which attracted more players, which meant even better sales. Within its first year, the Switch had outsold the Wii U's entire 6-year lifespan. Even the Joy-Con controllers learned from the gamepad's mistakes, Joy-Con drift notwithstanding. Instead of one bulky, expensive controller with terrible battery life, you got 2 controllers that could work independently, had great battery life, and enabled local multiplayer right out of the box, no matter where you were. The motion controls were there when you wanted them, but they weren't forced on every single game. And the most telling thing, many of the Switch's biggest hits were actually Wii U games that finally found their audience. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe became the best-selling racing game of all time. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, Pikmin 3, and others all found new life on a console people actually owned, and it was smart of Nintendo to re-release that stuff on the Switch in order to get people to experience them for the first time. Nintendo understood what went wrong with the Wii U at a fundamental level, and they fixed it. The Wii U failed because Nintendo forgot that great products mean nothing if people don't understand why they need them. The Switch succeeded because every decision, from the name to the marketing to the launch lineup, was designed around clear communication and genuine value. The Wii U's failure wasn't about Nintendo making bad games or weak hardware. It was about communication, a misstep in marketing. They had incredible software trapped on a console that most people didn't even realize was new. They had innovative features that they couldn't explain simply, and ultimately they had this great product with terrible messaging. But that failure taught Nintendo everything they needed to know to create the Switch, which became one of the most successful consoles ever made. The Wii U proves that in the gaming industry, execution matters just as much as innovation. You can have the best ideas in the world, but if you can't communicate why people should care, you'll fail every single time. Nintendo learned that lesson the hard way, and now they're better for it. Thanks for watching as always, guys. I appreciate your support. I'm Andru, and I will catch you in the next video.